Kumi finds herself in a dangerous situation, surrounded by several unknown men. She moves with precision, fighting like a trained agent, even grabbing shards of glass to strike one of her attackers. Despite the overwhelming threats, she gains the upper hand and escapes by helicopter. Then everything shifts. Kumi wakes up, clutching a video game controller. The fight was only a dream. In reality, she is a wife living a modest life, beginning her day by riding her old bicycle to the market. On the way, she passes a construction site for a methane hydrate laboratory. Local residents protest the project, led by Igarashi, a middle-aged man running for mayor. In contrast, Mayor Hana insists the construction will continue. Tension rises when a reporter asks about the disappearance of Professor Kitahara. The mayor's confident expression falters, revealing her unease. Back home, Kumi prepares food in the kitchen while the television plays in the background. News reports focus on Professor Kitahara, a key researcher in the methane hydrate project, who has been missing for a month. The story draws her attention. Soon after, her husband Yuji returns from work. He sits at the table where Kumi has set dinner. He praises her cooking, and for a moment, the warm family atmosphere softens the tension surrounding the project. The next morning, Yuji finishes his classes as a mathematics teacher. On his way to meet the principal, he notices his colleague Yabe watching a guest with an unusual expression. The guest, Yoku, is a donor for the school's building project and has just stepped out of the principal's office. The moment sparks Yuji's suspicion. That night, Tomami's environmental protection group is attacked. A group of men storm the headquarters and leave the place in disarray. By morning, Igarashi arrives and sees the damage. Nothing has been stolen, which leads them to believe the attack came from his rival in the mayoral race. At home, Yuji notices Kumi's growing anxiety. He picks her up while she shops and takes her to the beach, hoping the calm waves will ease her mind. Yet the two sit in silence. Yuji's attempt at comfort fails, leaving the tension between them untouched. Troubled, Kumi visits a psychologist. She explains her vivid dreams of battle that refuse to leave her. The psychologist dismisses them, suggesting they are linked to her gaming habits. Dissatisfied, Kumi presses further and asks about her past memories. The story shifts back 18 months. Yuji enters a house to protect Kumi from hidden enemies. During the fight, Kumi falls down the stairs, is shot, and suffers a severe head injury. She loses consciousness. Yuji retaliates, shouting her real name, Nami. From that moment, Nami lost her memory. Yuji's superiors seize the chance to use her condition. Yuji's true identity emerges. He is an undercover agent of the Public Security Bureau, working to expose embezzlement and money laundering tied to the methane hydrate project. To protect his cover, Yuji lives under the name Yuji Sakurai and poses as a teacher. He brings Nami with him, presenting her as his wife. With her memory gone, she becomes Kumi. Their marriage is not a real family life, but a part of his mission. Back in the present, a typhoon hits Japan and forces everyone indoors. While tidying the yard, Kumi finds a marble-shaped object that feels strangely important, so she decides to keep it. Inside the house, she turns on the television and sees breaking news. A reporter who opposed the methane hydrate project has been found dead. The police call it suicide, but Kumi suspects foul play, as if critics of the project are being silenced. Her eyes drift to a wedding photo with Yuji. The smile in the picture triggers faint memories of the hospital, when Yuji gave her the new name Kumi. When Yuji comes home and finds her staring at the photo, she only says she looks happy in it and wishes her memories would return. Yuji is left without words. The next day, while she cooks, the marble suddenly rolls across the floor. Before she can react, Yuji calls her. The timing is not a coincidence. Yuji secretly monitors her movements through GPS and hidden cameras. Meanwhile, on a Russian research vessel, Mayor Hana meets Yoku, the man in charge of the project. She asks about Professor Kitahara, but Yoku denies any knowledge. In truth, he is the mastermind behind the embezzlement scheme, funneling stolen funds into the mayor's re-election campaign. Yoku provides the money, while Hana protects the project politically. Soon after Yuji's call, Kumi leaves the house to shop. As she crosses the street, A car speeds toward her. She dodges it just in time. A young man rushes over to check on her, while bystanders scold the reckless driver. From the way the car was driven, the attack looks intentional. Watching through his surveillance feed, Yuji panics and hurries to her side. To calm her, Yuji takes Kumi for a walk by the sea. He promises he will always protect her. Although their marriage began as a mission cover, Yuji's feelings have grown real. On the way home, Kumi senses someone watching her. Nearby, the same driver who tried to hit her lingers in the shadows, holding a marble identical to hers. Days later, Kumi starts feeling lonely as Yuji grows busier. A shopkeeper suggests she find something to do or consider having a child. At that moment, the young man who once helped her appears again. Curious, Kumi follows him. She soon sees a child being bullied. She steps in and scolds the bullies, but when they turn on her, the young man intervenes, using martial arts to drive them away. He introduces himself as Yuri. Yuri invites her to his cafe. They talk briefly about dreams. His story inspires Kumi to think about her own. On her way home, Kumi stops at the beach to clear her thoughts. There she meets Yabe, who is taking photos of the sea. The short encounter leaves her feeling lighter. That night, Kumi tells Yuji about her meeting with Yabe and shares her newfound dream. She even sketches a cafe by the beach, drawing 2 adults and a small child. Yuji realizes she secretly longs for a complete family. As Kumi falls asleep, Yuji touches the bullet scar on her head. Weighed down by guilt over the truth he continues to hide. Meanwhile, the city's politics grow more tense. Supporters of Igarashi storm into a police station, demanding justice for an attack on 2 of their members. Their suspicions are confirmed when Yoku arrives and is treated with respect. The police dismiss the attack as an accident, ignoring the victims. In the days that follow, Kumi becomes more excited about her dream. She discusses it with Yuri, who supports her and even shares recipes for the cafe. But while walking with her, Yuri notices Yuji and Yabe involved in campaign activities. He quickly excuses himself, saying he has urgent business. Kumi is stunned when she sees Yuji standing on Igarashi's campaign vehicle, even though he told her earlier he was going to the club. In reality, Yuji is working secretly with Igarashi's group. Feeling betrayed, Kumi grows angry, while Yuji is forced to lie again to protect his mission. To ease the tension, Yuji takes Kumi to a vacant lot near the beach. He reveals he has purchased the land after seeing her sketch. Yuji admits he wants to make amends and genuinely think about their future. His words finally bring a smile to Kumi's face. The next day, while cycling, Kumi notices a group of thugs targeting Igarashi. Guided by her sense of justice, she decides to follow them. At the same time, Yuji, watching through her tracker, panics as she heads into danger. His fears are confirmed when the thugs attack Igarashi right in front of her. They try to push her away, but she refuses. One man kicks her in the stomach, and the pain stirs fragments of her lost memories. In an instant, Kumi's body reacts on its own. She fights with skills she thought belonged only to her dreams. Yuji arrives just as the thugs retreat in fear of her strength. Exhausted and hurt, Kumi collapses and is rushed to the hospital. Yuji stays by her side without leaving. When Kumi regains consciousness, Yuji embraces her tightly. The moment triggers another flash of memory, the first time he held her after she awoke from a coma. Not long after, Yuri arrives at the hospital but quietly leaves when he notices Yuji talking with Yabe. Later, Kumi asks about Igarashi and learns that the earlier attack left him deeply shaken, unsure if he should continue his candidacy for mayor. After leaving the hospital, Kumi tries to return to a normal life with Yuji. She experiments with new recipes, and as always, Yuji praises her cooking. In the middle of dinner, Kumi suddenly apologizes. She admits she once doubted his feelings, guided by intuition that maybe he did not truly love her. After everything that happened, she now believes his feelings are genuine. She decides to let go of the past and focus on their life together. Yuji reassures her, asking her not to push herself and promising that his feelings have never changed. Seeking peace of mind, Kumi visits the psychologist again. She admits her memories have not returned but accepts that her amnesia was caused by an accident. For her, what matters most is living with Yuji. What she does not realize is that the psychologist is secretly an informant assigned to monitor her. A few days later, Kumi receives an offer to work part-time at Yuri's cafe. Yuji objects at first, worried it would be harder to keep an eye on her. After visiting the cafe and judging it safe, he reluctantly agrees. Meanwhile, Yoku grows furious when his men fail to find the hard drive they were searching for in Igarasi's office. His superior warns him to be more careful, since someone has started investigating his actions. As election day approaches, threats against Igarasi's supporters intensify. Gangs launch repeated attacks, plunging the city into fear. The atmosphere shifts when a mysterious woman in a hero costume suddenly appears. With extraordinary abilities, she defeats the gangs within minutes, stunning the city. That night, Kumi returns home from work and finds Yuji watching television. The report shows a survivor with severe injuries. Kumi watches intently, as if something inside her resonates with this resilience. By morning, rumors about the mysterious female hero spread quickly. Hearing the descriptions, Yuji grows suspicious. He becomes more protective and monitors Kumi more closely. His suspicions are confirmed when he tracks down the hero. She calls out the name Nami before panicking, running away, and nearly being hit by a car. When the mask slips off, Yuji is stunned to see Yuri. Yuri confesses he acted alone because he no longer trusted the corrupt police. Amid the chaos, Yabe urges Igarasi to withdraw from the race for his own safety. Soon after, Yabe meets Yuji in private and reveals a crucial secret. Igarasi entrusted him with Professor Kitahara's research data, which must be handed over to the mayor. The data proves the methane hydrate project is unstable and dangerous. Yabe hopes this evidence will force the mayor to reconsider the project. Because of this meeting, Yuji comes home late that night. He finds Kumi asleep at the table, sketches of her dream cafe scattered around her. The peaceful scene contrasts sharply with the dangerous world he is caught in. Yuji realizes he must finish his mission soon and then disappear from Kumi's life. The next day, Yuji takes Kumi to a vacant lot near the beach that he has just purchased. Kumi looks overjoyed, even sketching cafe logo ideas in the sand. For a brief moment, their dream of building a family life together feels possible. Not long after, Yuji is confronted by a group of strangers demanding Igarasi's hard drive. They reveal that they also know Kumi's true identity as a secret agent, making the threat even more dangerous. Yuji quickly reports to his superior and prepares an emergency plan to secure proof of embezzlement before the money is sent to Russia. He realizes the only way forward is to work with Yabe. The critical chance to retrieve the hard drive will come during the mayor's upcoming meeting on a Russian ship. Meanwhile, Yabe's research data begins to shake Mayor Hana's confidence. Yet pressure from the Russians convinces her that the methane hydrate project is her only path to re-election. Soon after, a grand celebration takes place aboard the Russian ship to mark the start of construction. The mayor strikes a gavel, greeted by cheers from important guests. At the same time, Kumi attends a counseling session. Suddenly, the phone rings with a warning that Yuji will be targeted. The voice sounds eerily familiar. Kumi recognizes it as the person from her dreams, someone she once injured in the eye. The memory jolts her instincts as Nami back to life. With sharpened reflexes, she confronts the attackers and defeats them one by one with precise combat skills. On the Russian ship, Yuji finally locates the hard drive. But as soon as he secures it, he is ambushed. Surrounded and outnumbered, he struggles to hold his ground. At that moment, Kumi's memory fully returns. Calmly, she declares that she remembers everything, then joins Yuji in the fight. Together, they battle side by side, moving in sync.
Давай!
At one point, they even pretend to fight each other, throwing their enemies into confusion. Meanwhile, on the upper deck, Yabe meets Mayor Hana and hands her Igarasi's research documents. The evidence leaves the mayor shaken, but before she can act, Yoka's men force her to sign another document. When she refuses, both she and Yabe are taken hostage. Suddenly, a massive explosion rips through the ship. A bomb planted by the enemy ignites chaos, and flames spread across the deck. The celebration turns into panic as guests scramble for safety. Amid the fire and confusion, Yuji and Kumi stand together, bracing for the fight ahead. As the smoke clears, the battle only grows more intense. Once the gunfire stops, hand-to-hand combat takes over. In the chaos, Yuji is caught off guard, restrained, and held at gunpoint. Kumi seizes an opening. She tricks her opponent and forces him into an elevator. Trapped in the tight space, she uses every skill she has. The fight leaves her neck injured, but she finally overpowers him. Just as she is about to finish the job, Kamioka, Yuji's superior, appears and shoots the man. The relief is brief. Kamioka suddenly turns his gun on Kumi. He pulls out a marble identical to hers, revealing a shocking truth. Kamioka is a double agent, selling information to the Russians. He tells Kumi that she was nothing more than bait in Yuji's mission, a plan that collapsed because Yuji fell in love with her. He then forces Yuji to choose between his duty to the country or his feelings for Kumi. Before Yuji can respond, a helicopter arrives with police units. They surround the area and point their weapons at Kumi. Cornered, she throws her marble as a distraction and manages to grab a gun. Kamioka's men prepare to strike, but Yuji stops them, saying he will be the one to face her. With her neck wounded and her heart torn by doubt, Kumi turns the gun on herself. She tells Yuji to shoot her, saying it is the only proof of his love and the only way to release her from a mission built on lies. Yuji finally pulls the trigger, and Kumi collapses. The crowd disperses, leaving Yuji behind. Later, Yuji sits alone on the vacant lot he once bought for Kumi's cafe. He eats quietly while staring at the sea. In the closing scene, Kumi is revealed to be alive. She sits in a seaside cafe, a scar visible on her chest. She survived by using a simple trick she and Yuji once learned from television. So the moral of the story is, never trust marbles, mayors, or missions that start with "it's just a cover," because they usually end with explosions, betrayal, and someone faking their death like a soap opera hero.